Hey, this is Owen. If you're comfortable, leave your first name and state at the sound of the tiny truck backing up.
Hi, Owen. This is Caden from Utah. I was wondering if you could ever consider someone in a domestic relationship as being involved in a cult. Yeah, anyway, big fan of your videos. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Appreciate that. That's a really interesting question, and the answer to the question is yes. Interestingly enough, my friend Chris Shelton says fundamentally, a cult is an abusive relationship between the members and the leadership. You can boil that down to a domestic relationship, just two people involved in a relationship together, and one of them is abusive toward the other. And they tend to use the same exact tactics as cults: behavior modification through a system of rewards and punishments, social isolation, emotional isolation, information control, and thought control, that kind of thing. All ties back into abusive domestic relationships. So the answer is yes, you do find cult behaviors and cult tactics in abusive domestic relationships because they're essentially the same thing at their core.
Hey, Owen, Steve, California. You know what I've wanted to ask you for a long time is if you've ever read anything about what caused Rutherford and Knoll to push for disfellowshipping. They were the ones who really tried to throw that javelin as far as they could. And I was wondering if you'd ever seen anything on politics or personal soap opera kind of stuff that.
Let me give you a little bit of background for the listeners who don't know. The voicemail caller referenced Rutherford and Knoll. I think they meant Knorr. What was his name? Robert Knorr, I think. He was like the next president of the Jehovah's Witness religion after Joseph Rutherford. So I could be wrong here. Somebody correct me in the comments if you know more about this than I do. But the person who founded the religion was Charles Taze Russell, and he died Halloween night, 1916. After that, Joseph Rutherford kind of did a hostile takeover of the religion and renamed it from the Bible students to Jehovah's Witnesses in the 1930s and imposed a whole bunch of rules on people. And then after Joseph Rutherford was no longer the president, you get Brother Knorr. I forget his first name. But anyways, that's who those people are. So the voicemail caller was asking who created disfellowshipping and when and all that stuff. I don't know which person or when disfellowshipping was pushed. I think it was like 1948 or 1950, somewhere in there when it really started taking hold, which leads me to believe that it was Knorr because Rutherford was already out by that time. So I think Knorr was taking control of things and pushing disfellowshipping. But I can tell you this. In the late 80s, I believe, when Ray Franz left the religion, Ray Franz was a governing body member. He wrote a book after leaving the religion called Crisis of Conscience, and they specifically changed the rules for him because they didn't want Jehovah's Witnesses talking to him anymore. But he didn't get disfellowshipped. He disassociated himself. So they actually went in and changed the rules to say, not only can you not talk to disfellowshipped people, you also can't talk to disassociated people either. Anybody who was once part of the religion and is no longer part of the religion, you're not allowed to talk to. They changed that after he left in the late 80s, I believe. So anyways, that's a little history on the Watchtower Society. I thought that was pretty interesting. And thank you for the voicemail.
Hi, Telltale. My name is Cody, and first I just wanted to say thank you for all the videos you created. They have given me hope and comfort ever since I first discovered them. And now for my question. I apologize in advance if this is a loaded or depressing question, but as a fellow atheist, how do you cope with the idea of losing your loved ones or even your own life? When you reject religion, there's no hope of an afterlife to look forward to. This is honestly something that keeps me awake at night. And again, I apologize if this is a loaded question. But have a good day, and please take care.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, here's my answer for you. It doesn't matter if religion provides an answer to that question or not. All that matters is whether or not religion is true. I just wanted to preface my answer with that. Okay? I don't really care if religion provides comfort or whatever else. It's irrelevant. What matters is whether or not religion is true. And as far as I can tell, it's not. I have received absolutely no good reason, no good evidence to believe that religion, that Christianity is true. Okay? That being said, let me listen to the voicemail one more time.
As a fellow atheist, how do you cope with the idea of losing your loved ones or even your own life? When you reject religion, there's no hope of an afterlife to look forward to.
I have to say, there really is no good answer to that. But I can tell you that religion doesn't have a good answer to it either, because it's fake. There really isn't a good answer. So how I deal with it is the recognition that my personality and my values and my lifestyle and my ideals will be passed on to my kids. I will pass them on to my children, and my children will pass them on to theirs. I will live on through them. That's kind of how I deal with it. It's not a great situation that we're in. We don't get unlimited time on this earth, but we can make the most of it while we're here at the very least.